Hello guys, this is Luis here. Welcome back. We are still treating the group policy objects, and today I'm going to show you another policy that is very essential, especially if you work in an environment where most of the users are always switching computers and you have to use a flash drive to copy their files from one location to the other. Now Microsoft provides a way that you can actually make the users move from one computer to the other without you necessarily copying their files. Now there's a policy called folder redirection. Now what folder redirection does is it allows you to redirect the user profiles content, like their documents, their desktop, their pictures, their downloads, from the local system to another location. So by so doing, when the user logs on to the system, their profile is not loaded from the particular computer but then from another computer, preferably the server. Now to be able to do this, you first need to create a root path, the location where the files are going to be stored. So I have a second hard drive on this system, so I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to call it root path. So this is where all my user files are going to be. The next thing is I have to share this folder. So I right click on it, properties, sharing, advanced sharing. So share this folder, then permissions, remove everyone, then we add authenticated users. So check names, okay, we give them change, apply, okay, apply, okay. Then we come to security, we have to add authenticated users. So we have to remove the users, remove these users. Okay, so you can remove because this object is inheriting the permission, okay, not a problem, but still going to add authenticated users. Check names, okay, and then we are going to give them modify and then apply, okay, and then close. So on the sharing level, this is done. Next is we have to create a group policy object. So we go to the server manager, tools, and then group policy management. Now once we are here, we need to create a new policy. So policies are always created under group policy objects. So right click here, new, then we call it folder redirection. Then okay, next is to edit the policy. So right click here, edit. Then what we want to do is under user configuration. So you expand user policies under user configuration and then Windows settings. Then we have folder redirection. So when you open the profile of any user computer, let's take it for example, when I come here and then this PC, and then I go to drive C, users, administrator. You see, let's compare this here. You see the files we've got here is the same things that we have here. So when you do folder redirection, you are moving these files from this local location on the server or on the client computer onto the root path that we have created. So when the user logs in, these files are not loaded from the local computer, they are loaded from the server. Therefore, they are files that whatever personal files they have worked on are going to be on the server and not on the client computers they log onto. So let me just close out of here. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure when my users log on, whatever files they have on their desktop is redirected. So I right click this and then go to properties. Now under the target tab, the settings, it says not configured. We have three options. Basic says redirect everyone's folder to the same location. Advanced says specify location for various user groups. So you can even decide to specify location for different users, or you can decide that everyone's file should be at the same location. Whichever configuration you want to use is going to be based on your discretion. So I'm going to use the basic configuration. Then I need to specify the path, which is the root path I created. So let me just quickly get the path right. So I'm just going to right click this, go to properties, and then go to sharing, and I just copy this path, and then I'm going to paste the path here. So it says, for example, if we have a user called Claire, then there's going to be a folder created in the root path called Claire. Then there'll be another folder for his desktop files or her desktop files. So I click apply. Now there's a warning. I'll just say yes because it's not going to affect what we are doing, and then we click OK. Then we also want to redirect their document, so I can right click, properties, drop down, same process, and then apply. Yes, okay. So I've redirected the desktop and then the document. It's going to be based on your discretion if you want to redirect their downloads, their contacts, whatsoever, but you have to bear in mind that the more things you redirect, the much storage space you will need to accommodate all these. But one benefit of this is that instead of going around trying to back up all user files, you can just back up the drive or volume or the server that stores these redirected folders, and then you have a copy of all the user files. So whenever you need to make a restore of a user file, you can just do that using the volume that you backed up rather than going system to system to back them up. So I can just close the group policy management editor and then come back here. Next is to link the policy. So I just drag this and then drop it on the domain. Do you want to link the selected policy? Okay, so now we have linked it. I'm going to enforce it so it applies to everyone. So enforced, because I don't want to disable the block inheritance. Next is to update the policy settings. So GP update space /force. So with what we have done now, when the user logs on, then the folders we redirected, such as their desktop, is going to be redirected to the location we have specified rather than it being on the local system. So it says we have to log off and log in to apply the policy. So I'm going to say yes, and then I'll be signed out. And when I sign in, the folder redirection policy is going to apply. And then from there, so I've signed out. So I need to sign back in. Okay, so administrator, so I sign in. So applying folder redirection policy, we can see it there. So the policy is being applied. So once it is applied, if the administrator should log on to any other system, the files he has on the desktop are going to also be on the desktop. The same thing applies to the client computers. So you see a folder has been created in the root path for administrator. When you log in, you have desktop and then you have documents. When you open this, the things that are on his desktop are now located here. So what it means is that when the administrator logs on to any computer on the network, these folders he has on his desktop are going to be relocated to that particular location. So basically, this is how you allow users to move around on the network and have access to all their files. This is called folder redirection. You can try this in the client environment. If you have multiple clients, you can log into multiple systems with the same user account and then see how this works out for you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the page and then like the video. Thank you.